Welcome to our exploration of how permaculture design principles impact the design of regenerative farming systems in New Zealand. We delve into how permaculture principles revolutionize agriculture in this diverse and ecologically rich country. Regenerative farming is an innovative approach that sustains and actively improves the land. It enhances biodiversity, revitalizes ecosystems, and strengthens the resilience of agricultural systems. In a country like New Zealand, where agriculture and the environment are deeply intertwined, regenerative farming is becoming an essential practice. New Zealand faces unique environmental challenges, including soil degradation, water scarcity, and biodiversity loss. Traditional farming methods often exacerbate these issues, leading to long-term ecological damage. Regenerative farming offers solutions by restoring soil health, improving water retention, and increasing biodiversity while maintaining productivity and economic viability. Permaculture is the guiding philosophy behind regenerative farming. It's based on three core ethics: earth care, people care, and fair share. These principles help farmers design agricultural systems that produce food, restore ecosystems, and support communities. Permaculture teaches us to work with nature rather than against it, creating farming systems that are sustainable, productive, and resilient. Earth care emphasizes protecting and nurturing the natural environment. In New Zealand, this ethic is reflected in practices like cover cropping, which helps prevent soil erosion and maintains fertility, and agroforestry, which integrates trees into farming landscapes to enhance biodiversity and carbon sequestration. These practices are crucial for preserving New Zealand's unique ecosystems and ensuring the land remains productive for future generations. In New Zealand, regenerative farming is deeply influenced by Māori values such as manaakitanga and kaitiakitanga, ensuring that land and people are cared for. These practices support fair wages and community connections through initiatives like CSA programs, embodying whanaungatanga by fostering strong, supportive communities. By integrating these principles, regenerative farming sustains the environment and enriches and sustains the communities that depend on it. Fair share promotes the equitable distribution of resources and surplus. In New Zealand, this principle is practiced through composting organic waste, which recycles nutrients back into the soil, and cooperative marketing initiatives, which help small-scale farmers access broader markets. Farmers create a more resilient and interconnected agricultural community by sharing resources and knowledge. Regenerative farming is all about creating balanced and resilient systems. These systems mimic natural ecosystems characterized by interconnectedness and mutual support. For instance, integrating livestock with crop production can create a symbiotic relationship where animals provide manure to enrich the soil, while crops provide food and shelter for the livestock. This approach enhances productivity and builds resilience against environmental shocks like droughts or floods. A deep understanding of natural ecosystems is key to successful regenerative farming. In New Zealand, farmers observe how water moves through the landscape, how different species interact, and how seasonal changes affect their land. By mimicking these natural processes, such as using contour planting to follow the land's natural shape, they can create farming systems that are more sustainable and productive, reducing the need for artificial inputs and interventions. Selecting suitable species for regenerative farming is critical, especially in a country with as much environmental diversity as New Zealand. Farmers must choose species well suited to their specific climate, soil, and topographical conditions. For example, in regions with high rainfall, farmers might select pasture grasses or wetland plants that thrive in wet conditions. In drier regions, drought-resistant species like deep-rooted perennial grasses or native shrubs are more appropriate, helping to maintain soil health and reduce water usage. The 12 permaculture principles developed by David Holmgren provide a comprehensive framework for regenerative farming. These principles guide farmers in designing systems that are sustainable, self-sufficient, and in harmony with nature. Let's explore how each principle can be applied in New Zealand's unique agricultural landscape. Observation is the foundation of effective farming. By closely interacting with their environment, New Zealand farmers understand their land's unique characteristics, such as climate, soil types, and water flow, and can design systems harmonizing with these natural elements. This principle is crucial for creating resilient farming systems that adapt to changing conditions. New Zealand's diverse climate offers many opportunities to capture and store natural energy, whether harnessing solar power in sunny regions, using wind turbines in coastal areas, or collecting rainwater for irrigation. These practices ensure that farms remain productive even during periods of low energy availability. Additionally, organic matter like compost and mulch helps store energy through nutrients, which are gradually released to support plant growth. The principle of obtaining a yield ensures that farming systems produce tangible benefits such as food, fiber, and other resources. In New Zealand, this means selecting crops and livestock well suited to local conditions, ensuring consistent and reliable yields. Practices like crop rotation and polyculture help maintain soil fertility and reduce the risk of pests and diseases, contributing to a steady supply of diverse products throughout the year. Self-regulation and feedback are essential for maintaining balance in a farming system. Farmers in New Zealand regularly monitor soil health, water quality, and biodiversity to ensure their practices are sustainable. By making adjustments based on this feedback, such as modifying fertilization practices or altering grazing patterns, farmers can create systems that are more resilient and better suited to their specific environments. This principle emphasizes the importance of using renewable resources and ecosystem services to minimize reliance on non-renewable inputs. In New Zealand, this might involve composting organic waste to enhance soil fertility, using biological pest control to reduce the need for chemical pesticides, or utilizing rainwater harvesting systems for irrigation. These practices protect the environment and make farming more cost-effective and sustainable. The principle of producing no waste encourages creating closed-loop systems where the waste from one process becomes the input for another. In New Zealand's farming systems, this can be achieved by composting organic waste to create nutrient-rich soil amendments, recycling water through grey water systems, and using livestock manure as a natural fertilizer. By designing systems that minimize waste and maximize resource use, farmers reduce their environmental impact and enhance the sustainability of their operations. Designing from patterns to details is about understanding and utilizing natural patterns and cycles to inform farm design. In New Zealand, this could involve observing the land's natural contours to guide contour planting, which helps reduce soil erosion and improve water retention. By recognizing broad environmental patterns, like seasonal weather changes, farmers can refine the details of their operations to ensure that their systems are resilient and sustainable. Integration is key to creating synergy within a farming system. New Zealand often applies this principle by integrating crops with livestock or using companion planting techniques. For example, integrating sheep or cattle into a mixed farming system can provide natural weed control, improve soil fertility through manure, and diversify farm income. Companion planting, where certain plants are grown together to benefit each other, can also enhance crop resilience and productivity. Adopting small and slow solutions allows for careful observation and incremental adjustments, reducing the risk of large-scale failures. In New Zealand, this might involve starting with small-scale trials of new crops or techniques, such as experimenting with drought-resistant crops on a small plot, before expanding the practice across the entire farm. This gradual approach aligns with continuous improvement, where small changes are made over time to enhance the farming system. Diversity is a hallmark of resilient systems. Promoting diversity in crops, livestock, and habitats in New Zealand is essential for building resilience against pests, diseases, and climate variability. For example, diverse crop rotations can reduce pest pressures, improve soil health, and provide ecosystem services. At the same time, various livestock species can offer multiple income streams and enhance farm stability. Integrating native plants into shelter belts or riparian zones further enhances biodiversity and contributes to conserving New Zealand's unique ecosystems. Edges, or the boundaries between different ecosystems, are often the most productive and diverse areas in a landscape. New Zealand applies this principle by utilising the edges of paddocks, fields and forests for additional productive activities. Planting native species along the edges of fields can create habitats for beneficial insects and wildlife, enhancing biodiversity and protecting crops from wind damage. Additionally, planting native vegetation along stream banks helps improve water quality, prevent erosion, and support aquatic ecosystems. Adaptability is crucial in farming. The principle of creatively using and responding to change encourages farmers to remain flexible and resilient in environmental, economic, and social changes. In New Zealand, where weather patterns can be unpredictable, this might involve adjusting planting schedules, adopting new crop varieties that are more resilient to changing conditions, or implementing innovative technologies that enhance farm efficiency. Farmers can ensure their farming system's long-term viability and success by staying adaptable. Applying permaculture principles in regenerative farming has numerous benefits, including sustainable yields, economic viability, improved water quality, enhanced soil health, and increased biodiversity. These outcomes are interconnected and contribute to the overall resilience and sustainability of New Zealand's agricultural systems. Farmers can create systems that support their livelihoods, regenerate the land, and foster strong, vibrant communities by focusing on these goals. Through the thoughtful application of permaculture principles, regenerative farming in New Zealand leads the way toward a future where agriculture works harmoniously with nature. By creating sustainable, resilient, and productive systems, New Zealand farmers ensure long-term food security, economic stability, and environmental health for future generations.